From athletic stuff like a full court pickup game, swish, to athletic-ish stuff like a half-mile stroll. Get those steps in. Head to Sierra or Sierra.com for the brands you want at the prices that let you do it all. From athletic to athletic-ish, Sierra's got it.
Go further with the American Express Business Gold Card. Earn 3 times membership rewards points on flights and prepaid hotels when you book through AmexTravel.com. Whether your destination is a business conference or a client meeting, your purchases will help you earn more points for future trips. Experience more on your travels with Amex Business Gold. Terms apply. Learn more at americanexpress.com/business-gold. Amex Business Gold Card. Built for business by American Express.
This is Optimal Health Daily. The power of focus and flows, the tool you need for active recovery, both by Eric Leija of ericleija.com. And I'm Dr. Neil, your host and narrator. Hey there, welcome to another Tuesday edition of Optimal Health Daily. Remember, this is just one of a bunch of podcasts where we read to you from blogs for free so that you don't have to read them yourself. Except on Fridays, that's where I answer your questions. Now to check out our other shows, just search for Optimal Living Daily wherever you're hearing this. Now today, I have 2 posts for you. I do that when the posts are a little bit shorter. But again, both posts are from the same author, Eric Leija. And I'm sure you're excited to hear today's 2 posts, so let's get right to them and start optimizing your life. The Power of Focus by Eric Leija of ericleija.com. All right, so we've all been told or have told ourselves to focus during our workouts or lifts. The thing is, what does that really mean? And more importantly, does it truly have any effect? Or should we just let our mind wander during sessions? Valid questions. This study, however, will make you think differently about the power of focus. Focus, the growth factor. In 2009, researchers set out to discover the impact of attentional focus on a group of individuals who didn't regularly work out. Attentional focus is where a person's concentration is during a lift or muscle contraction. Is it on what you're going to have for dinner or on the specific muscle you're using? Now, there are 2 types of focus, internal and external. An internal focus on your workout may be something like focus on squeezing your biceps as you curl up, while an external focus may be imagine the weight lifting towards you. Notice the subtle difference? Interestingly, the researchers found that this very subtle difference caused a significant difference in muscle growth. Researchers found that during latissimus dorsi pull-downs or lat pull-downs, participants were encouraged to internally focus on pulling with their back instead of with their arms by adducting the scapulae and concentrating on the tension in the back musculature. The result of this concentration was a 20% increase in muscle activity in their lats, simply by focusing on them. Other studies have shown similar results, specifically one involving 2 groups of men who were training 3 times per week and were doing the same exercises, barbell curls and leg extensions. Researchers told one group to squeeze the muscle during each rep, while the other were told to get that weight up. The result? Those who were told to focus on squeezing their muscle saw a 12% increase in the size of their biceps, almost double the group who were told to simply get the weight up. This illustrates the power behind the mind-body connection during lifting and how our focus can cause more muscle fibers to activate. The only caveat to an internal muscle-based focus in when, say, you're lifting close to your 1 rep max, it may actually be beneficial to focus on just lifting the weight. However, we're not 1 rep maxing every day, at least we shouldn't be. So we want to focus with the intent of building and maintaining form. Here's how. How to. Internal focus. The key here is to know that your focus doesn't have to be perfect during every rep. We've all experienced our mind wandering during lifts or other movements we've done a few times over. What you want to do is try to treat this focus as a sort of meditation. Each time your mind wanders, come back to the muscle and squeeze. Rise and repeat. Remember that you want to focus on the contraction. Alternatively, if you're doing eccentric work, meaning lowering slowly and focusing on the extension portion of the movement, you want to put your attention onto the muscle that is under tension. Focus less on the weight and imagine and feel the muscle. Flows, the tool you need for active recovery, by Eric Leija of ericleija.com. If you've been here for a bit, you've likely done some type of flow with me, or tried out animal or primal flows on your own. These types of movements are amazing for strengthening muscles we didn't even know we had, as well as for giving us a creative and flexibility boost. However, flows are also epic for something else: recovery. While some recovery can and should be bubble baths and saunas, you should also be engaging in another type, termed active recovery. If you've done it before, we're taking it up a level by utilizing flows within it for extra benefits. Benefits of active recovery flow. Unlike passive recovery, which is basically pure rest with minimal movement, active recovery aims to utilize movement for repair. The goal is to keep supplying muscles and joints with a fresh circulation of nutrients and fluids in order to promote faster recovery. Research has shown that active recovery, which includes both post-workout cooldowns and movements on rest days, helps to reduce lactic acid buildup in the muscles, increase blood flow to muscle tissue, remove metabolic waste from muscles, and reduce muscle tears and pain. With flows, we're taking active recovery to new heights by adding in movements that also simultaneously increase flexibility and mobility. If you've ever used yoga as an active recovery tool, flows are slightly similar in concept, minus the poses, yet still offer enough muscle utilization to flush lactic acid. This is one of the most important aspects of active recovery, since lactic acid buildup is one of the major causes of stiffness and post-session muscle soreness. This combination of mobility work and lactic acid flushing can not only reduce soreness in the future, but also help extend your range and even increase performance. Flows, which are likened to animal or primal movements, naturally move your joints and tissues through new ranges of motion. New in the sense that you likely haven't engaged in primal movement patterns since you were a kid. These movements help loosen and open up tight joints, tendons, and muscles, which can increase your ability to extend and rotate. This not only benefits recovery, since you get more nutrient and oxygen flow into these areas, but also performance. When we have a deeper and wider range, we can engage more muscle fibers, which can result in more gains. An easy way to think about this is to think about a squat. If you have tight hips due to little mobility training or soreness from not regularly doing active recovery work, you won't be able to sink as deeply into a squat as someone who has flexible hips. Someone who has flexible hips can sink deeper and easier into a heavy squat, which can engage more muscle fibers, which, in the longer run, can equal more strength. Flows, both for active recovery and workouts, also help increase full body coordination and balance, which benefits every aspect of your life, from handling heavy asymmetrical weight to carrying tons of groceries. One-trip grocery hauls become a breeze. How to use active recovery flows. Technically, there isn't a limit to how many active recovery flows you should do a week. However, it's going to be beneficial to get in a session after each of your workouts, since this obviously introduces increased circulation and mobility when you need it. I would also advise to try and get in one active recovery day per week if you're taking a day or days off. This can be both a flow and or something like walking, hiking, or swimming. The power of this to help keep stiffness at bay is pretty remarkable, so give it a try. The bottom line: active recovery flows have epic benefits, including reducing lactic acid buildup in the muscles, increasing blood flow to muscle tissue, removing metabolic waste from muscles, reducing muscle tears and pain, and increasing mobility and flexibility. You just listened to the posts titled The Power of Focus and Flows, the tool you need for active recovery, both by Eric Leija of ericleija.com. And I'll be right back with my commentary. On longer flights, my legs usually aren't feeling too great. I'm sure you know the feeling. They can feel heavy, achy, and completely stiff. Compression socks I've tried in the past were basically plastic bags and super sweaty. But Hollow socks are much more comfortable. Their performance compression socks are made from ultra-soft baby alpaca fiber. The graduated compression is snug at the ankle and gently tapers up your leg so everything just feels supported without that suffocating squeeze. They're 3 times more breathable, so no more swamp feet on long flights or 12-hour shifts. You can actually keep them on all day. Plus, they're made in the USA with over 2 million pairs sold. For a limited time, Hollow Socks is having a buy 2, get 2 free sale. Head to hollowsocks.com today to check it out. That's hollowsocks.com for up to 50% off your order. After you purchase, they'll ask you where you heard about them, and you can support our show and tell them we sent you.
Get in the game with the college-branded Venmo debit card. Wrap your team with every tap and earn up to 5% cash back with Venmo Stash, a new rewards program from Venmo. No monthly fee, no minimum balance, just school pride and spending power. Get in the game and sign up for the Venmo debit card at venmo.com/collegecard. The Venmo MasterCard is issued by the Bancorp Bank N.A. Select schools available. Venmo Stash terms and exclusions apply at venmo.me/stash terms. Max $100 cash back per month.
Dr. Neil here for my commentary. Going back to the first blog on the power of focus, Arnold Schwarzenegger was a huge believer in making each resistance training movement perfect. He would talk about how, when performing a movement, to think carefully about what you're doing. He would say to imagine your muscles getting bigger with each repetition. At the time, there really wasn't any research to back up this claim. I don't think Arnold even mentioned the importance of the mind-body connection and how it all relates. So at the time, I just brushed this advice off as anecdotal and didn't really think much of it. But now that there's actual research to support this advice, we can definitely take this advice more seriously and actually implement it, and we might achieve better gains by doing so. All right, that's it from me for today. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you for being a subscriber of this show. I hope you have a great rest of your Tuesday if you're listening in real time, and I'll see you back here tomorrow where your optimal life awaits.